I've got 2 picks already in the bag, and now it's time for pick number 3. Hey Stitches, your girl Kris here. Welcome if you're new, or welcome back if you are already part of my YouTube sewing family. So, I've already completed 2 picks in my Sew Lucky Jar 2025 challenge, and now it's time for pick number 3. But just before I get to pulling from my jar, just in case you have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about, Sew Lucky Jar 2025 is a sewing challenge that was started by my friend Dayana from 26 by Dayana over on Instagram. And she has encouraged the sewing community to get involved. Obviously, your girl had to go ahead and support Dayana. And so I prepared my Sew Lucky Jar, put all of the patterns that I really want to sew for 2025 into that jar, and I have been picking them month by month. So for my first pick for January, I ended up sewing up Simplicity 8014. Pick number 2, which was February's pick, was the Deer and Doe Melilot shirt, and I'm actually wearing it today. Now, if you want more information on how I fared out sewing up the Deer and Doe Melilot shirt, then be sure to go ahead and check out this video right here. Now, we are back for pick number 3, and I do have my Sew Lucky Jar right here with me. As usual, every time I pull for this jar, I feel nervous. And that is because my husband and my daughter also contributed to the patterns in my jar. So I ended up putting 24 patterns in my jar. And hubby chose 4 of those patterns, and my daughter chose 3 of those patterns. Truth be told, you guys, I thought it would have been a really good idea to get them involved. And it was, because it kind of shaked things up a little bit. But the patterns that they chose, for the most part, I would not have put them in my jar myself. I guess that means it gives me a little bit more of a challenge, knowing that if I pick their patterns, I have to sew them up anyway, whether I want to or not. I guess when life gives you lemons, you're meant to make lemonade. Now, on a side note, the Deer and Melilo was one of my husband's picks, and it was the only pattern I think that he put in the jar that I was really excited about. That means 3 of his picks are still in the jar, as well as all 3 of my daughter's picks. But I guess now is the moment of truth. So let me go ahead and give my jar a really good shake. And let us see what the fabric gods have in store for your girl for March. I am picking this one. Deep breath. And we are sewing up. Is that a V? It might be a V, as in a Vogue pattern. Vogue 2069. Can you guys see that? Vogue 2069. Now, I actually have no idea off the top of my head what Vogue 2069 is. So I definitely need to go ahead and check out. So let me grab my phone so I can Google Vogue 2069, and then we can talk about it. All right, I'm back, and I have Googled Vogue 2069, and you can tell from the big old grin on my face that I am excited about this pattern. So Vogue 2069, I'll go ahead and pop the envelope in right here, is a skirt pattern, and it was one of Vogue's, I think it was the fall, was it the winter collection or the fall collection? It is a fairly new pattern. It dropped in 2024, and it was one that I really liked. Now, there are 2 different options for the skirt, a knee length or a calf length skirt. And at the moment, I feel like I want to do the calf length skirt. And that's new for me because I often want to show a little bit of leg, and obviously lower or longer length skirts have not really been my jam in the past. But as I have told you on numerous videos for 2025, I am trying to embrace silhouettes and lengths and so on that I would have shied away from in the past. So at the time of recording, I am thinking I want to do the calf length. Obviously, that might change depending on the fabric that I have in my stash in terms of the fabric type and the fabric length, and whether it will work better, in my opinion, in a shorter skirt or longer skirt. But at least your girl has ambitions to sew up a calf-length skirt. Now, I have my copy of the Vogue 2069 in PDF format. I bought it from simplicity.com when they were still supplying it to international customers. That means I'm going to have to go ahead and print it out, assemble the PDF, and then I can cut it out, make my adjustments, and get started on this pattern. Now, even though this is a pencil skirt pattern, because it is a Vogue pattern, I am assuming that there are going to be some techniques in the sewing up of this pattern that were probably not available in other pencil skirt patterns, because Vogue is renowned for having, I guess, more couture or high level construction, I think. So I am going to take a look at the instructions, even though I usually ignore my instructions and just sort of construct my pieces based on previous knowledge. But this time I am going to take a look through the Vogue instructions just to see if there are any construction tips or techniques that I otherwise would have ignored. Now, you can get the Vogue 2069 on many different sites if you want it in PDF copy, including, of course, simplicity.com if you are a US local. If you are an international customer like I am, Simplicity has redirected us to Sew Direct. I personally will not be shopping Sew Direct because I feel like, why should I have to do that? But just in case you want to go ahead and grab up this pattern, then you can get it on Sew Direct. I also know that the paper copy is available on Minerva.com. Now, I am a Minerva ambassador, so if you choose to buy this pattern from Minerva.com, then please consider using my ambassador code, which I'll pop right here on the screen, to save yourself 10% off all their patterns, their notions, their fabrics, their kits, everything. Now, I'm really looking forward to sewing this one up. I don't have in mind at all at the time of recording any fabric choice. I really am going to have to rummage through my fabric stashes to see what fabric might be appropriate for the sewing up of this skirt pattern. So if you are curious to see how this pattern ends up coming together and you're not yet a subscriber, then be sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you do not miss when that video drops. Of course, if you like this video, as simple and as short as it was, be sure to go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. That really helps me with the algorithm and that sort of thing. And drop me a comment down below and let me know whether you picked up this Vogue pattern, whether you have it in your stash and you are ready and willing to sew it up along with me for the month of March, or whether you are intending to add this pattern to your stash. Let us continue the conversation down below in the comment section. As usual, thank you guys so much for joining me. I appreciate the time it takes for you to sit down and watch my videos when you can be doing other things, watching other videos. I really, really, really appreciate it. So until next time, you guys, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and absolutely keep sewing. Peace.